I don't know if you guys actually saw this on the beginning of the pay-per-view. Well, I think it was actually during the main event that there was a dude that literally had the women's title over his shoulder with pride. And not hating on the guy, but in my humble opinion, anybody that carries a women's title that is not a woman is the equivalent of carrying a purse. Just saying. That shows how ugly your belt is. And unfortunately, I guess that's something they can't fix. And even when Kevin Owens actually had the belt in the air, people still booed it. That's jacked up. When you got men buying a women's title because it looks better than your main belt, which is meant for men, that shows you screwed up royally somewhere. All right, y'all. I'm just gonna spout out a bunch of noise when it comes to this because I'm not the biggest, I'm not the happiest of campers when it comes to this pay per view. Now, I'm just gonna spat out a few things that really did piss me off the most. Number one, and this is pretty much a clue for you guys. Whenever you can tell there's going to be a screwy finish, look at the ref. The same ref that gave the belt to Charlotte after Sasha Banks won is the same guy that did the screwy finish tonight at the end of the match and also did the screwy finish for the women's title match. Take a look at the ref. Every single time you're going to predict the screwy finish, look at the referee. I know we had Little Nate when it came to the Nature Boy way back when. Look for the referee. That guy is a clueless, blundering wonder. He doesn't have a clue what he's doing, let alone he's awake half the time. And I'm not saying that to insult him. It is a pure fact. The first time that we encountered this guy's blunder is that he actually forgot who the champion was and tried to give the belt to Charlotte. Then after that, we had Dana Brooke blatantly interfere in the match, got in the ring, interfered with the match by pulling Charlotte away. She did not get kicked out. Now we have the screwy finish with Kevin Owens when the ref was out by getting not even touched in the head. And you got the same referee coming out for the same screwy finish for the entire night. Came out 1, 2, 3, Kevin Owens. I have never been more pissed at incompetence in my entire life, and the fact that this guy still has a job shocks me. But let's move on down the line. What about the fan that got kicked in the head during the best of 7 match? They stepped over him like he was nothing. Nobody came to his aid. No one. No one came to his aid, acknowledged the guy was hurt. They were too busy focused on Sheamus and Cesaro that were ready to go. They weren't hurt at all. They wanted to keep going. They could have kept going. What stopped them? It's not like they had a head injury. It's not like they had a neck injury. They were fine. Why didn't they continue? If they allow this best in series to continue, and if Mick Foley, I promise you, if Mick Foley says it's going to be another match, I will literally be done with Raw for the night. I'm not going to do a review because I'll be too pissed to. It's bad enough that Mick Foley pretty much panders to everyone around him. It will be really bad if they allow this crap to continue. And also for fans in the audience, after that fan that got literally kicked in the head by Sheamus during one of the matches for Best in 7, I would not have my child touching the performers while they're performing to prevent him from getting kicked in the head. Just saying. Just freaking saying. But other than that, guys, after all those pet peeves out the way, well, practically not. Oh yeah, I guess I could say it's pretty much out the way. I'm gonna say this: the matches were pretty average. They weren't horrible, but they were average. I have to say, in my opinion, the best match of the night definitely was the Best in 7. Even though there was no Best in 7, it stopped as a no contest. But honestly, I didn't really see or care about the match with Nia Jax and Alicia Fox. I did see snippets of it afterwards, and I will say that Alicia Fox looked like she gave it her all. But in the end, she just got her butt handed to her and got slammed around like a rag doll, and I expected that to happen, and I'm glad Nia won, because Nia needs to be a beast. But at least Alicia gave it her all, because let's be honest, this will be the first and last time we're going to see her on the screen ever. So she needs to give her all. But I will say this for the championship matches. The cruiserweights, of course, was no surprise. I will admit this. It wasn't as, I mean, I can't say it wasn't as fast paced, but I know that TJ Perkins was definitely on a different stage. So there was something he had to get used to. Brian Kendrick was a classic heel, which I really did enjoy. That was an amazing match. I'm not going to lie. It was a little sloppy, but you got to admit, these guys, I mean, TJ was nervous. Not only that, you had to go at a certain pace, and it really wasn't bad. They were able to correct themselves from their mistakes. But here is one thing that I absolutely positively noticed. With Chris Jericho versus Sami Zayn, they literally said, I've seen Sami Zayn at his best. And he's usually a match that not only goes long, but he usually has a certain length and a certain speed which he goes. He dumbed it down for Jericho. I never thought this in a million years, but Chris Jericho was literally had a match dumbed down for him. Just like how Triple H had a match dumbed down for him. Just like how Undertaker had a match dumbed down for him. Chris Jericho literally can't go as fast as he used to. It was like a match of the dads. The battle of the dads. Seeing two dads go at it as slow paced as possible. And I was shocked at that because I know not only Jericho is amazing on the mic, he's a great performer. But then I also know that Sami Zayn can not only go long matches, he can actually go at a decent pace. It was slow. It was slow as molasses and sluggish, and it was dumbed down for Jericho and Jericho's win. And of course, Jericho's ego, of course, gets in the way, and he has to have a win over the newbie. Which is why I want Jericho gone, because he's not doing anything for the future. He's just focused on himself. That's all that it is. And speaking of matches that pissed me off the most, the same thing happened between Rusev and Roman Reigns. The only difference is it was in reverse. Nobody had the match dumbed down for them, but there was a match that made Roman Reigns look dominant the entire freaking time, where Rusev barely had any offense at all. And let's be honest, Roman Reigns is more of a heel than a babyface. But the fact that he actually took the title away from Rusev, I guess maybe it will work because the guy has a massive amount of heat on him. But strangely enough, people actually did cheer him. Don't really know why, because the match was one-sided the entire time. And Rusev barely had anything coming in. And sure, Lana got kicked out, which lets me know, oh yeah, he's going to lose. Right then and there. Predictable. But the one thing that really did bother me the most is the fact that they literally just made Roman Reigns look far too dominant in this match. It was completely one-sided just so he can take the title. A title he did not want! Okay. Alright. I'm going to do my best not to scream anymore, but I can't guarantee nothing. I guarantee nothing when it comes to how I feel at this point. I will do my best, but I guarantee nothing. Let's move on to the New Day. The New Day versus Anderson and Gallows. Even though those fools don't need the belts at all, for some strange reason they still have it because of their dumb merch. If it wasn't for the stupid bootios and the stupid unicorn horns and the stupid merchandise they come out with every single week, they would have dropped the titles by now. I should be happy. Hey, we got an African American tag team that's had the belt for close to 400 days. I should be happy, but I'm not, because they barely defended them. In a way, they are so over that they don't need the belts anymore. It's the belts that make them, it's the man that makes the belts, not the belts that make the man, right? Well, the men are already made, so why do they need them anymore? Seriously, we need to have another team to take the belts away. I don't want them there for 500 days. I want to be able to defend it. And gosh, do they annoy me with the two-time champs shtick that they come out with every single week. They're not two-time champs anymore. They're five-time champs. Can they at least upgrade it every time they come out? I'm just saying. But look, and I know my camera's acting weird, but I ain't cutting this out. I'm just going to keep on rolling with this. So there you go. But other than that, man, I don't think I've ever been more pissed off at an ending for the Universal title in my entire life. Seriously. I don't think I have ever been that pissed. And I really am. Because it's ridiculous how it ended. Everybody and their mom predicted that Triple H was going to come out. I knew he wasn't going to. He just came out for the ratings. That's it. And if we see him, his butt's going to be out there for a Big Four pay-per-view. He's not going to waste his time on a Raw exclusive. There you go. He ain't going to come out, and he wasn't planning on it. But the one thing that is good is the fact that, no, I can't even say that Kevin Owens had a clean win. Because for some strange reason, we got Jericho that came out to show his face again. For some random reason, for his bae. I guess that's what you call him. Kevin Owens, even though he didn't really need to be out there at all. He's just doing nothing but slow him down. But the whole time, I'm not going to lie, it wasn't a bad match. It just wasn't. It was just off. Every move was off. For some reason, Seth Rollins' move was like at least 5 clicks away from Kevin Owens to where he had to fake being hit. I don't know what's going on with Seth Rollins, but he is missing his hits all the time. And not even the ref got kicked in the head that often. Seriously, the ref didn't even get nicked. Then here comes in the Stooge. Other than that, I hated the finish. I really hated the finish of this pay-per-view. I hated it. But I'm not going to lie, the matches themselves were pretty decent. Some of them were a little bit too clunky. And let's talk about the women's match before I forget. And it's sad that I'm going to forget it. The match was great. I'm not going to lie. It was good. But it should have been one-on-one. Bayley should not have been involved. Because Bayley was ignored the entire time. Why bother with the triple threat if no one's going to acknowledge her? She literally had to get herself involved. And for some strange reason, Dana Brooke was in her ring attire. I guess she might have had a dark match before the match even started. But other than that, she shouldn't have been there at all. I've already talked about the ref. I ain't getting back into that fool. But I know one thing, that there shouldn't have been Bayley in there at all. I know people love Bayley, but not a lot of people watch NXT. They don't know a lot about her, so why give her this match? The same thing with Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns has failed multiple times, and this dude is now the U.S. title holder? He's now the U.S. champion? And he did what? Lose? And now we got Bayley in a triple threat match with 2 other women, yes, that can pull off stellar matches. But Bayley should not have been involved. She was ignored the whole time. Everybody was Charlotte was paying attention to Sasha. Sasha was paying attention to Charlotte. Nobody cared about Bayley. So she shouldn't have been in there. It should have been one-on-one. Besides, Sasha Banks deserves a one-on-one match with Charlotte. And she should have gotten one. Instead of it being a triple threat match with Bayley involved in the middle. It made no sense. Other than that, guys, I'm done ranting about this crap of a pay-per-view. It had the worst finishes of all time. It was completely, don't get me wrong. The best in 7 match felt like a best in 7 match. It was the only match that felt genuine. The other matches were either completely chaotic or just completely off. Not to mention that the calls on who won, I don't agree with. Not to mention the negligence that they showed when the fan got kicked in the head. And not to mention the incompetence of the referee. The same referee that came out twice in one night for screwy finishes, as well as showing a screwy finish prior to the Clash of Champions. This entire pay-per-view was not that good all around. I enjoyed myself for the best in 7, but it wasn't that great. It just wasn't. I have far too many rants and far too many pet peeves and pissed off issues about this pay-per-view to say it's good. But other than that, guys, I want to hear your thoughts about this. Leave a comment in the comment section below. I am done with this piece of crap. I might watch Raw, but I tell you, if Mick Foley makes the best in 7 continue, I am not doing a Raw review. I'm telling you I'm not. He better not screw up tomorrow. Peace out.